What up? What up? All right. So let's talk about a vomy. Vomy. How do you say it? Vomy? Vomy? Okay, so we want to talk about this, 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 that, and this. So one, two, three, no, four, six out of the last, let's call it 8 days, has a vomy. VOMY. Okay. So to see that, it's tough for sure. But you have this like lower high pattern and then a drop. Okay. So it's up here is the vomy. It goes like this, and at some point it drops. Okay. It's easier to see when you stretch out the day. Let me take this one. Okay. You see how it's like curling? Right? I'm trying to do exactly. Okay. So it doesn't come out of that. So let's just take the intraday. Let me go to the 5 minutes so I have some more candles to work with. Okay. Sorry for, I know I moved this around way too much. So you could say that one is for sure. Oh my gosh, sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so there it is. That didn't work. Okay, so what I look for is an exhaustion of a push. And then you start to make lower highs. Eventually, you get a bigger drop. All right. So you have that, which breaks down. It doesn't matter how you draw it. You could draw this because you see how we're just moving it over. Eventually, this is going to go timber. All right. So you have this, it's losing, it's losing, it's losing. You have this same anchor point, and you're just broadening it. The slope drops, right? Eventually, it's not going to be like a support pickup. Um, so here, we lost this, came all the way almost back up. Right here, curled, almost back up, but not really. Very weak here, almost back up. See how we're making lower highs? And eventually, bulls just give up. And let's note the time. This one is at 10:20 a.m. They're usually pretty late. Okay, so if you're going for this, you have to know that this isn't like a morning push play. Okay, all this price action right here is at the bottom half of the previous day. So you're already bearish looking at this. Now here we did pop above pre-market levels, and here you double topped with pre-market. But as I mentioned, even if you take this as an anchor, see how it just keeps getting flatter and flatter, flatter. This one's a little bit different. Still a vomy, I'm gonna say. Vomy. I guess you guys could vote how to say that. Okay. This is kind of just a bear flag with this, but what's happening is the lower highs. Okay, let's call it that. We're going to call it this, right? It respected that. This is kind of with that, but they're lower. Yeah, and you see this weakness because you have this wedge that doesn't pop to here. Anytime a falling wedge doesn't pop to the top of the wedge, it's bearish, okay? So you kind of have a new anchor point here, right here, right? You do this. Here, let me fix this. Sorry, I'm trying to explain this best I can. I'm trying to say, how do you predict the rollover flush VOMI? So you go like this, right? We're pushing, and you go like, all right, well, if we push to that, I'll go long because I just said you have to get above the top of the wedge. So I want here, here, okay? If this happens, I'm in right there, okay? Now, if that doesn't happen, if it goes to here, you can be in puts. What's probably going to happen, though, is some sort of retest, and then you're in. Now, this took place here. It just took a while. Okay, this took place here, and this went down pretty low. Okay, so a lot of chop, but you know, that's trading sometimes. So you draw this, it's breaking. Okay, it's kind of making a bear flag. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it retests up there. Never did. Came back down. See how I'm moving this? Came past this, made a new low, went here. I'm drawing this, right? Making a new trend line. And then you see how once it finally breaks, it's just like a waterfall. So this one gave a couple chances to get in. Right here, it's like, okay, I'm in the bear flag, but it's tough because you're like, is it just going to come up again? Now, what you could do here on the downside is make some levels. Let me make these yellow so it's easier to see. Right? See how it's making higher lows? Higher lows. You're like, I'm not in. It's making higher lows. But it loses that. See how we take this out? I'm not making another yellow line. Right when it went from here to here. It actually went all the way up there and back down. Struggling, and it really just went down. Lost it. Okay, we have 3 touches, which is usually key. They call it the rule of threes. 1, 2, 3. The 4th touch didn't hold. I'm just trying to figure out the best way. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it's just not clean. That's the way it is. But we have the purple lines coming down, lower highs, and then you have higher lows. You could even extend this to here. Look at that. It respected this spot right here. And then it's all about trend lines too. See how once that white line was broken and we broke one of the gold lines, it was like you're in. And you even have a retest there. Look at this retest. It retested well past the halfway point of this line. This is a piercing line candle that failed. It would have to close above the 50% to be a piercing line candle. And then here you bear flag. This is 5 minutes. This went all the way back up, and I said in the chat, I'm adding this short, adding all these shorts. And you know, you get in here, you don't know how much it's going to retrace. And I'm like, if this candle closes above the 50% mark, I'm out. But you have to add, 2, 4, right? Now 8. And then as soon as it flushed here, you're in profits. I sold here and I sold the rest down there. Okay. And you had a massive wick. You had another retrace, just like what happened here. I don't think you can see my crystal. Just like what happened here, you had another retrace. Okay. This is a 5-minute candle. You have 5 full minutes to figure this out, to add in or get out. And then you flushed all the way down here before making the way up. So how do you stay in this trade? Very simple. You go like that. Do you see how we have an established? You only need 2 points to make a line. 2. 3 is preferable, but 2 is enough. Okay? So once you do this, you can go like that forever. And you're like, I'm in below that. As soon as this closes above and it's here, I'm out. Because look, it could have went here and down and you're still in. It's like, I'm out. You get a higher low. Exactly what was going on with this gold here. See how you have, well, it's really this, but you went all the way up. I would have been out immediately there. This turned into support. This resistance turned into support right there. You have to be out. You can't just hold and hope. Okay. Let's see if we can find a cleaner VOMI. Remove all those drawings. Go to the next day. Oh, I know what to show on this. The high volume reversal. So when you get a massive push up or a massive push down, what you look for is high volume. Now, do you see how this volume here, let me just go like this maybe. I'll do this. See how 90% of the candles except for this one and these couple are below this line? This doesn't matter. The peak above doesn't matter. But then on this push down, you get some high volume. We still didn't get above this. So this is still shortable, okay? And look at this sell. Look at this big volume candle that still didn't really sell till the other candles, okay? But here you have a clear sell candle that's massive. And it's about halfway to the biggest candle of the day, which the opening is always huge. So as soon as you see this and this next candle is super high and this one's high, it's like, how much more can we really push out? This moves a lot, this line, when you scroll. But anyway, my point is you're getting massive volume relative to the last 15 minutes, hour, 2 hours. Clearly, this is more volume than this. So, as Amy says, Amma Jamma, there's no one left to sell, okay? And if you're looking like this at the price action and you're like, holy crap, I need to scroll up because it's gone so low, or scroll down, you're probably going to have super high volume, and it's probably like get the F out of puts, okay? And sure enough, we started to make a bull flag just from here, just this bull flag from here. You make a higher low, it's a bull flag. I just showed you guys this support, this level loss became resistance, and this is a high volume reversal candle, okay? And then right here, I would have been out right there. It's like, look at that push up. Highest volume of the day up to that point, you're out. Like, you could hold from here to here, but I wouldn't personally. I don't know. I would be out. Lowering volume, and then this push to me seems like luck, and it actually, it kept going. But let me see if the day before happens with the high volume. So pretty high volume there, giant bar, but I will say that, and while scrolling can make it subjective, okay, first of all, I have to point this out. We have this massive volume and a small body candle that screams reversal, okay? If you have a giant volume candle and a small candle body on that, it's going to go the other way, especially with the wick. But even if this were just like, not big wicks, it was just like a smaller body, that means sellers did everything they could to bring it down and they couldn't do it, okay? So as you can see here, that reversed. We have another example of that here. Massive volume, and we did reverse there. Yes, we made a lower low, but you would have had to hold through this chop for the lower, okay? So, and if you go to like the 15-minute, you maybe hold through that if you're not in like a weekly. But anyway, and then, so anytime you have low volume or really high, something is going to happen, okay? And you might be able to predict it. Okay, now, right here, we have heavy volume. We have basically 3 black crows, which is 3 sell candles, getting bigger and bigger. Look, bigger. See how each candle gets bigger? And the volume never doesn't go with that. That screams reversal, okay? And this is when I'm in the chat saying, take profits, take profits, take profits. You might get like the next leg down, like from here, you got this next leg down, okay? You might get that. I'm out here. There's no way I'm in. Like, as soon as this candle body starts above this candle body low, I'm out, period. And you would have had to hold all the way to here, which is almost the 50% mark of that candle, and it basically rejected right here. This right here basically rejected right there. It's within a few pennies. It doesn't have to be exact. Any exactness is luck, in my opinion. So end of day, it's really tough to gauge volume, but we actually did play calls here from here. And then a second time here, we played calls. Actually, we played puts and then calls. The reason why we played puts is because this trend line broke. That's all that was. I did this, and I was like, I'm looking for candle bodies under here. See how those candle bodies kind of lined up? As soon as we went here, I was like, I'm in puts. And puts went like 150%, and then calls went like another 100. It was insane. So yeah, calls went up. I did not play these puts because I don't like to play the last candle of the day. But you had another trend line break here. Okay, trend line broke. As soon as that candle body's above that, I'm in. Okay, so let's go to the next day. See what that button does. Oh, that goes to the end. Okay, let's take a look at today. All right, we were in calls here. After this broke, I was looking short. Okay, so we have, like I said, 3 touches. 1, 2, 3. I liked this bull flag here. If you add it in, add to maybe like pre-market low area, not even pre-market low, but right here. Look for multiple touches in pre-market. Okay, this and this level, see how there's 2 touches? It couldn't break here and then it broke. That is more important than the actual pre-market low, which is right here. And it's proof that it's more important because right here and right here held on the low. Okay, so tougher hold for sure, especially holding below that. You see this right here break. You know, it's tough to hold that, but we got this push up. We flagged up. This is what I drew when that was happening. I was like, okay, we're seeing a clear possible lower high, or we break through, and we broke through. Okay, this was not the push I wanted. This was it, because you have the third time that held. Look, couldn't break it, retested. This was like calls. As soon as you get, especially above that. Okay, so let's talk about the VOMI. Clear level here. And you have a clear lower level there. Okay. Clear lower level there. Now what happens here? Okay, so we're kind of looking for lower level and then the VOMI. Okay, but something kind of fishy happens. What it is, now somebody made 40 grand from here. Just this move. It's incredible that somebody can move from 530 to 528, $1.50, and make $40,000. And the way they did that is they added here and they added here. Okay. So I just told you guys a few times that when you pop the wedge and you don't get to the top of the wedge, it's highly bearish. You did get above this, but you did not really get above that. And you didn't get above the top of the wedge, so there's never really a reason to get bullish. Okay, to get bullish, you would have to go above this right here, like which you probably, oops, sorry. So that's that line. To get bullish, you would have to go here, here, and you're getting in right there. None of that happened, okay? Instead, you got a lower high lined up with a level that we have established on the day. And then you have this Candle body's lower. Let me put the arrow on the candle body. Lower high. This is highly, highly bearish. Okay. And if you are drawing a trend line just from like the little push up, you see that it broke. Doesn't matter where you draw it. It doesn't have to be exact. It's clear that it broke. Okay. And that's when like you're adding puts, adding puts, adding puts. Now, clearly this is a level. We just bounced off of it. Let me make that gold or canary yellow because it's clearly a higher low. Here we kind of retested this spot right here. It's getting a little bit muddy in here, but we're under this trend line that I said from earlier. Now you make a new trend line you can make a new trend line from home base, right? From here. It doesn't matter. You could start it there. It doesn't matter. All you see is that the slope of it is broadening. That means bulls are getting weaker. If bulls are getting stronger, the slope is going like this. If bulls are getting weaker, the slope is broadening. Okay? That means they're losing the battle. Think of this as like a meter. Bulls winning, bears winning. Okay? So clearly this broke. You never retested it here. And this actually became a little diamond top thing. Diamond, whatever you want to call it. And diamonds act as flags. Okay? Kind of like this. A diamond and a flag is the same thing. Like a bull flag, bear flag. You lost that, usually characterized by that middle value there. And so bulls tried to get it over. They got over that level, but it fizzled out. And this is like major ad time. Losing this, especially losing this right here. Look how we just popped that. That's another spot to lose. Okay, at that point it's a lower. You lose that, this is like Flushville. Now. Let's try to look at that volume. Okay, I have trouble scrolling to show it. When you have the candles pushing into the volume and they're starting to bleed into each other, that means it's time to get out of the play. All right. Now, let's just take a look at the high volume sell candles for the day. High volume, high volume, high volume, all of these reversed. All of them. And even the high volume buying reversed. See how this, yes, it pushed up a little more, no doubt about it. From here to here is probably 80% on a 0 day, like at least 50%. Like I'm not saying you can't get that, but volume is lowering. You need higher volume. See how volume is going up here, and we just vaulted from 528.50 to 530. Like, dude. And then this is later in the day, right? This is 8 a.m. This is like 11:20. This is an hour to go. Right at power hour, we flushed. You're going to get way more percentage because it's later in the day. If you're doing a 0 day, even a 1 day, you just chopped off 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 4 hours of cushion on the theta, okay? Which volatility works in your favor at that point. And even scrolling out, you see that flush. It's like a rollover. Remember when I started, I said, you look for like this rollover. Okay, let me clear all this out. Okay, so you guys will see me a lot of times, I will go like this. And I'm like, it's either going to do this or the complete opposite. Like which one? And what I'll try to do is do green and red and just be like, hey, we need to make a decision here because this is kind of becoming like decision time. Okay. Now, this means nothing. This is actually, it doesn't mean nothing. This means nothing for bulls, I was going to say. This is highly, highly bearish. And I'll tell you why. Because we went here and then down. Okay. Now let me do the opposite in a different color. Okay. We go here, here. Now let's say we did this. Now, why does this matter? Because you get, see how we got above this level? Let's go blue, something. Okay. Oops. It's pop before the drop, dip before the rip. We pop above this level right here, and even above this level. We actually got right to this. I wouldn't have been surprised if we got here. I'll tell you right now, if we got higher than the high of day, the drop would have been way more dramatic. We would have got a new low of day. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. So, this is your adding zone. You're in here, first drop, you're out probably here, add again, you look for the VOMI. Like I said, it doesn't matter where you anchor it, just anchor it somewhere in the beginning of the day. Okay, we're losing this. We're losing that. See just the white line? We're losing that. See how from here, it's getting flatter. That means bears are in control. At some point, you might even go like this because it's so dramatic, okay? I'm sorry, I tried to make this as clear as possible. Let's take a look at the big, there were 2 days here that were major. Okay. They say, they put dolphin emojis because they say it looks like a dolphin. Like there's the dorsal fin and the head. I'm like, okay, I guess. And people have placed dolphins on there. This is 2 vomies in a row. It went like this. It went here. Look at this. Remember I said pop before the drop. Look at that. We popped that much. Let me zoom in. We never got over previous day high, by the way. We double topped at previous day high. That's another just super bearish. You're under previous day high. Couple of major things here to remember. It is pretty smart to not trade pre-market levels. And it's pretty smart to not trade the previous day range, which is this. See how you could still bank under that? And it even retested right here. Oops. Here's a previous day range. This is just 2 candle bodies for right now. See how it retested right here? Down, up, retested. Okay. So I'm just saying, a lot of very profitable traders are like, I do not trade within pre-market. I do not trade within the previous day's range. Totally freaking good. Takes a lot of patience. Now, great example of pop before the drop. And we even had another retest here. Look, you got one drop here that wicked right back up, made a lower high. Oh man, I wish this would have made a higher area. It would have dropped even more. But then we started just making these bear flags, you know. Look at these bear flags. There's one, there's another. And then, as you can see, if I can scroll this correctly, TV's kind of weird with the, there we go. So we have this volume coming in. There's no way I hold for this. No way. Maybe if it's like a runner or something, as soon as I see this wick up, like I'm as soon as this volume is there, I'm out. Because look how much freaking volume that is. So I'm not always watching volume. You don't have to. You don't need this volume on to see that this is a giant flush candle with a giant wick starting. Like, just get out. You got the move. Okay, I just showed you this bear flag, you know, and even this last flush, it never tested above that. To get bullish, you would have to go like this, and you're in right here. None of that happened. So yes, I do get in sometimes. If I catch a big flush, sometimes I'm like, I'm in calls just in case we get that fat, you know, reversal. The volume came in, but look, even more volume came in and would have wrecked me. So anytime I do that, it's a roll, and I'm like, all right, I made $700. I'm going to roll 200. Okay. If I miss the flush, then I just wait a little bit longer for the bigger move. Okay. So here, last day to look at. Another VOMI. This is the big kind of move there. Let's draw our levels. Soon as we opened up, we never got above pre-market high. And here's pre-market high. Here's previous day high. And it was just so clean because we vomied with a double top right into the previous day high. It was the cleanest move ever. And after being somewhat sideways, right, we went down, but we kind of closed here, right? And we even gapped up. So it's all sideways action, right? You're just trying to catch the one move down. And this one was a bigger move down. But so now this one was a little bit tricky, but look at how much of the price action was like making a new high from here. Okay, we made a new high and then we double topped. I said right here, I'm in puts right when we started to reject right here. I was like, I'm in puts. I sold. I got in more here. I didn't alert ham back in. Some people said, hey, I added the rest right here. I was willing to be in low here. This is why I got in. This broke. Very simple. And it was previous day high. Okay. And clearly what happened the last time we were there? We flushed. So what's going to happen the next time we're here? Not always, but we just might flush, which we did. This is a 5-minute chart. It took 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40 minutes. But those who held made insane. Like these puts went over 1,000%. And some of them, they went like $7 to like $300. I don't even know the math on that. So anyway, you sweep the highs. See this blue box? You sweep the highs here and come low. So it doesn't make sense to go like this. Oh, I'm in puts if you do this. No, because this is retracing. I'm sorry, this is retesting. Okay? So we go here. Imagine somebody for calls. Okay? And they're like, I'm in calls right there. If you hold this. All right, well, you never got above this right here. Okay? So it would make a lot more sense to go like this. Okay? Now, I could see this maybe as a bull trap, but anyway, it is a clear double top for me. So let's look at it on the bearish side. Here, kind of this I consider a retrace with this level. And then we didn't do this. We went like there and lost it. So clear double top. And as I said, we break this and then we're starting to flatten out the trend line, right? It's going from this slope to here. And maybe it would have retraced here and it kind of did here. And as I said on that other day, now look at the trend line. Now bulls fully lost control, and you should always be thinking, who's in control? Bulls or bears? Bulls or bears? All right. So I really like this one because in terms of looking like a dolphin, not that I think it does, but people say it does, you have that like middle value. You have this pop up before the drop. Now this is a weak one here. Obviously it took a long time. Was this today's? Yeah. But, this was tougher than yesterday's for sure. Obviously, a much bigger drop. Another chance to get in here if somebody's like, oh, I'm out. New low a day, I'm in, right? We went here. Like, there was so much time yesterday to grab it. It was, like, very, very easy, okay? Today, I think, was a little bit tougher, especially because we were making basically a bull flag, right? So from here to here is a bull flag. Let's see. There's the pole, and then there's the flag, right? I think we gap up Monday because of this bull flag. I think we're going to gap up to about here, and we got to see what happens. Okay, I will only be long if we get over this level and retest this zone and do this. That's the only way. And if we chop, boom. I think this pattern can duplicate here again. We could flag above it, flush to here, and go high. I just said dip before the rip. I just freaking said that, right? Okay. I'm sorry that this ended up being 34 minutes. Trying to, make it brief. didn't work, but love you guys. Bye.